guys. I'm just trying to make sure you guys can see me all right. My name is Maxine Pittman. If you're new here, welcome to Tress Talks. My name is Maxine. I am the owner and founder of Tress Obsessed. We are a beauty vending machine business that I started out of my Southern California apartment. And we sell over 60 different products from over 30 different brands that are travel sized, TSA friendly sizes, so you can use them for road trips, plane trips, vacations, so that you don't have to compromise your hair care routine for your travel plans. So that's originally why I created the business. And I'm creating this video particularly because when I went on YouTube, I typed in airport concessionaire videos to see if there was anything out there that was, outside of, the airports will put out their own videos about hey, we have this coming out if you want to apply, like different things like that. But I'm talking about like created video that someone put together, basically outlining how to get your business into an airport. Because I want to be very clear when I say this, because I know a lot of you probably watching either don't own your own business, or if you do not have your business in an airport. Because people that get there is a very, in terms of looking at the whole pool of people who own businesses in the United States, the amount of people who have their businesses in the airport is very, very small. So I wanted to create a video for people who are looking for this kind of information, or people who just were curious about how my business is going through the process. We are currently in negotiation right now with an international airport. Now, when I say in negotiation, it could go either way, meaning the negotiation could go well. We could sign the contract and be in an airport in the next 6 months. Or we could get through the negotiations and either both sides, or me or them, the airport doesn't kind of get what they want out of the deal. So we decide that it's not the right time to do it, and we may approach it in the future, or we just decide not to do business together at all. So I want to make sure that when I say certain things, I know that some people watching may not understand what I'm talking about, so I'll try to explain further. But again, I'm creating this video because I want to explain what goes into really trying to get your business into an airport. Now, if you want to learn more, if this is the first video that you're watching about me and my business, you can go back to our YouTube page, and we have a bunch of other videos, shorts and long videos, where I explain who we are and how we got here. I'm not going to do all that on this video, because this video, I just want to talk about what I've experienced as a small business, as a Black woman, small business owner, and as someone who is aspiring to get her business into an airport. Now, if you know someone, let's say you have a friend or a parent, or your neighbor, or someone who owns their own business, usually people who own their own businesses usually they come up with an idea, and it's like a brand new idea, and they make that product, which is called white label. I am not that. That's not what I do. All of the products that we sell in our vending machines are products from brands that people already know. So we sell travel size hair care from brands like Shea Moisture, Talia Wajid, Dove, a lot of different, a bunch of different brands. I have a few of them actually here. I'll show you guys. So Carol's Daughter, Lester's Pink hair lotion. So, even like Vaseline, Palmer's cocoa butter, but they're all 4 ounces or less, very small travel size, travel friendly, sizes. So, I say that to say that I don't go through a lot of the different processes that regular business owners go through with manufacturing and designing your own packaging. I don't go through all of that because everything is already made. I'm just a redistributor and a distributor and reseller. So with that said, in terms of, let's rewind a little bit and go back to how you can actually get your business into an airport. So, And for anybody who is just looking to, I want to make sure that I say this, for anybody who's looking to start a beauty vending machine business, and you want to either you sell your own beauty products and you're like, hey, this is a great idea to make side money, or let's say you're trying to buy a house and you already have a full-time job and you want to start something on the side to start accumulating cash on top of your full-time income. I do have an e-course. It's called the Beauty Vending Machine Business Academy, BVBA. I will drop the link for that. We also, if you're not trying to take like a full e-course, we do have just digital templates with like guides, checklists, vendor lists, all that kind of stuff. I'll drop the link for that as well. Now, in terms of the airports, now we were traditionally in the beginning going through like the regular traditional process, which means traditional means like what most businesses do to try to get in the airport is they sign up with what is called the diversity supplier or supplier diversity, which just basically means you're putting your business on a directory so that when you register with that airport or that city or that Department of Transportation, you are basically saying, hey, I'm interested in opportunities with this airport. Please keep me in mind. And then what the airport does or what that city does is they will send you emails with different bids. It's called a bid or a solicitation, which just basically means like the airport is putting out an advertisement. They're not like paying for it or anything, but it's called a bid or a solicitation where they would put out an advertisement saying, hey, we are looking for rental car companies, or hey, we are looking for companies that can offer trash services, or concrete companies that can redo, our tarmac, or whatever service that the business needs. Now, if you're somebody who's watching this video and you're very familiar with government contracts, then you already know everything that I'm saying, but most people don't. So I will emphasize and explain different things. When they put that bid out, they are very serious about like, hey, this is exactly like they'll add like a bunch of different documents to their portal, and they'll say, this is exactly what we're looking for. If you're looking to bid on this project or apply for it, this is what you have to do. And they'll give you a bunch of criteria. Now, I have done bids on 3 different airports at this point. So I would say I'm probably like intermediate right now. I'd probably say in between beginner and intermediate. Bids are very, very tedious. Like the first bid that I ever did was on an airport in Nevada, and it took me like 8 weeks to read through everything. Then I went back and I had to like highlight all the key points. Then I had to go back and like put together an outline of specifically what they were asking for. Like these airports are not a joke when like they are run federally. So this is not like some mom and pop shop where you can just do whatever you want and bend the rules or be flexible or whatever. The airports will tell you straight out, like, we want this bid to be in a 3-ring binder. We want 3 copies of it. Or, hey, we want this bid to be on a hard drive. And then please give us 2 more hard drives with 2 copies on it. Or, hey, we need this to be 12-point font. The titles need to be 14-point font, Times New Roman font, size 12 or 14, etc. They will tell you exactly what they want. They'll tell you exactly how to organize the bid. And if you're somebody who doesn't like to read a lot, or you're not very detail oriented, you kind of just skim things, that is the quickest way to get yourself thrown out of the running for that opportunity. And a lot of these opportunities, you have the potential, I'm not talking about small regional or city airports, but some of these large airports like LAX, JFK, Atlanta Airport, and even some of these international airports, London Heathrow, and some of these other airports, they have tens of millions of people coming through their airport. I think Denver Airport has like 86 million passengers coming through their airport every year. So I say that to say that there's a lot of opportunity. If you're somebody who's serious about your business, if you're somebody who's serious about getting into an airport and you're willing to do the hard work that it takes to get there, it can be very, very rewarding once you do get that contract. And I do know people who have gotten their businesses into airports and it was life-changing for them. Just imagine you have like a food truck or like a cart or something, and let's say you get 50 customers a day and you're like, hey, this is great. I made $1,000 or I made $1,500. Imagine hundreds of thousands of people walking past your business in an airport every single day. It's life changing. It's life changing in terms of the brand recognition. It's life changing in terms of the money that you can make. It's life changing in terms of just, even with your growth as a person. Like, it can definitely, running your business very small to all of a sudden getting a big contract like that in an airport, especially in an international airport, it changes you as a business owner. It changes how you do business, how you run your business. So anyways, that's the first part, is the bid process. The second part, or I guess second way to get your business into an airport, would be, and let me rewind before I say that, it would be wise for you, if you are someone who is disabled, if you are someone who is a veteran, if you are a minority that is from an underserved community, if you are a woman, if you are the spouse of a veteran or a spouse of someone in the armed forces, it would be very, very wise to get your business certified. What do I mean by certified? Getting your business certified, and I want to make sure that I say this very clearly because there are a lot of misconceptions out there. People will think, oh, I spent 3 months, I spent 6 months, I spent 17 to 18 months getting my certification for my business. My business is registered in California, so I went through the city of Los Angeles to get my business certified. I then went on to get my business certified as an airport concessionaire in 23 states outside of the state that my business is registered in. It took me about 1.5 years to do that. It is not an easy process. A lot of the people who run the certification process are usually like the Department of Transportation. So they'll be abbreviated online as DOT, D-O-T. So you'll see like SCDOT, which is South Carolina Department of Transportation. Or you'll see ODOT, which is Ohio Department of Transportation. And because it's the Department of Transportation and airports are transportation, airports usually will fall under that umbrella for the Department of Transportation. Sometimes in some states, because it's not like that for every state, in some states, the airport has their own rules. So the Department of Transportation and the airport will be two separate entities. So you just have to check online. But it is a very long process. Now, once you get the certification in the state where your business is registered in, you don't have to worry about doing that again. Like, you only got to do that process once. The one thing you will have to do is every year you will have to renew it, which is basically like sending them your tax return so they can see how much money your business has made to make sure that you still fit the criteria of being in a business that is owned by someone from an underserved community or disadvantaged community. And that is called the ACDBE certification. It stands for Airport Concessionaire Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. There is also several other certifications that you can get. There is DBE. If you're somebody who wants to just get a certification as a disadvantaged business enterprise, but you're not interested in getting into the airports, you can just get a DBE instead of an ACDBE. If you are a minority or a woman, they have the MBE, Minority Business Enterprise. If you're a woman, WBE, Women Business Enterprise. So there's several different certifications out there. And what the certification does is it does not guarantee you to get into an airport. But what it does do is it tells airports, government buildings, a lot of these federal buildings and federal entities, it tells them that you are serious about doing business with them. And a lot of them, because of with the airports in particular, my business, we have never been inside of any other, we've never gotten contracts with any other federal buildings. I do have friends who have gotten their businesses into federal buildings like a government library or Capitol Library or things like that. But going back to what I was saying, if you guys are interested in having me, if you're only interested in getting your business into a government building, I do have a friend who's in Florida who has like 20 vending machines. She's killing the game. Hey, Jocelyn, if you are watching, so if you guys are interested in having me interview her, I can definitely do an interview with her on my page in another video. Just comment below if that's something you're looking for, or if you have more questions on that. Now, regarding getting into the airport. So like I was saying, the first option is getting your certification, getting applying for bids or solicitations. Another option is a concessions pilot program. Okay, so with concessions groups, what concessions groups do is they kind of work as the middleman. So what happens is the concession group is kind of like I guess you would say kind of like a landlord. That's the easiest way I can put it. And then yourself, the small business owner, is the tenant. And what the concessions group does is concessions groups work very closely with airports as like partners or associates. And a lot of them have been inside the airports, kind of facilitating a lot of little deals between, not little, but a lot of big deals between outside businesses that work on the street. Sometimes you'll hear working, having your business street side. That means outside of an airport. So having a brick and mortar store or a vending machine or a food truck or something that is outside the airport. They'll say like street side. So a lot of these concessions groups will work to help a lot of street side businesses get inside the airport, and they will negotiate a lot of the deals between the small business and the airport. So another way of getting into the airport is going through a concessions group. This is really good and beneficial for small businesses. I'm sorry, I'm trying to still make sure that it's recording because my phone keeps saying that that I don't have enough storage. So, and I'm really low on my battery. So, a lot of concessions groups will kind of help the small business. They have a lot of lower barriers of entry, which means like instead of going through the tedious, long, hard bid solicitation process, and some people prefer going that route. So I won't knock you if you do. Go ahead, have at it. For me, if you're a small business where you're already wearing so many hats within your business, you can become very exhausted with the bid solicitation process because it's just so much reading, so much writing. You can pay someone to do your bids for you. There are companies out there, but they are very expensive. A lot of them are charging upwards of $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 to write a proposal for a bid, for you to apply for a bid solicitation, to write your proposal and everything, and to read the whole bid for you and do the whole process. So it can get very pricey. But if you're somebody who's like myself, who did it all on your own, if you're doing multiple airports within a year's time, it becomes a very tedious, exhausting process, exhausting mentally and physically. So this may be another option. If you are looking to get into the airport, you can go through a concessions group. You would have to apply and they would have to accept you. Usually, I believe with a lot of them, they would have to accept you once you apply. And then they'll have you like apply. They'll start telling you like what the airport is looking for. And sometimes you do have to wait because sometimes you'll apply with a concessions group and they're like, well, we don't have any. Let's say you own a vending machine where you sell hot food inside that vending machine and they're like, that's not what we're looking for right now. Then you just have to wait. Or you can keep doing bids at other airports while you wait for the concessions group to come back to you and say, hey, this airport that you were interested in is now looking for a hot food vending machine. So it's about luck, it's about effort, it's about making those connections. And there are several different ways you can make those connections. A lot of airports, if you're just looking to stay local, once you get on that diversity supplier directory, the airports will send you, not only will they send you bids and solicitations that you can apply for different projects within the airport, but you'll get information about different networking events that happen. I know with LAX, when I was out in Los Angeles, they had a networking ACDBE event at a really nice restaurant. So, you get dinner, you get to network with people, with a lot of the decision makers. So you just have to keep your eye out for your email. Sometimes they'll announce it through other ways. Sometimes they'll do like for Small Business Week. I know Richmond, I'm close with them because I did an accelerator program with them, but Richmond International Airport does like a little convention thing called during Small Business Week, where they bring in small businesses from the community and allow them to like set up a booth and showcase their stuff, and they'll have a lot of people from different airports come and like look at it, and you can network. So there's several different ways. There are big conferences as well. You can go online. There are big conferences. There's one called AXN. It stands for Airport Experience. I think they call it AXN, but I think it's technically AXC, which is Airport Experience Conference. And you'll see a ton of different people who are trying to get their businesses into the airport. It's really cool because you meet so many cool people. There's a lot of free giveaways. You meet, like, there's celebrities that show up. Like, when I'll put a picture up here somewhere, I met um, the guy from Shark Tank, the one that started Fubu. He was there. Great guy. His team was so sweet. And he actually let me pitch my business on his Instagram live and was like, hey, pitch your business. Like, he was just letting people pitch their businesses, and his whole team was there, his photographer, his videographer. So that was really cool. And it's nice to meet a lot of scrappy business owners who are going through the same thing that you're going through, because business ownership and entrepreneurship, the journey can be very lonely. So you want to make sure that you're aligning yourself with people who you can, not only who can help you, but who you can help as well. And I've done that a lot on this journey. So, when I started my business, we were in shopping malls, we were at military bases. We're also working on getting onto college campuses as well as the airports. But I really want to focus this episode on the airports so that you can get just a basic understanding of everything that it takes to get into the airport. Now, I have been working on this for probably longer than that, about 3 years. I started my business in 2021. It's 2025 now. So we've technically, since the day that we launched, we've been operating for 4 years. 3 out of those 4 years, I've been doing everything to get my certifications, go to different events, also attending a lot of webinars. The airports do a lot of free webinars. They love to do free stuff because they can help the community, and it also helps them start learning more, like when you register for the webinars, and a lot of them are virtual. There are some airports that do a lot of local ones at like libraries, at the airport itself, or they'll do it at like a restaurant or a hall or something, but a lot of them are virtual. So no matter where you are in the country, if you, let's say you live in Arkansas but you want to get into an airport in Oregon, or you live in Arizona and you want to get into your business into an airport in Louisiana or North Carolina, you can attend these virtually. A lot of them are free. Some of them they charge for, but it's very rare. A lot of them are free, which is good. So you will have the opportunity to gain as much free information as you can to help you along the way. So that's basically what I've been doing the last 2.5, 3 years, is attending free webinars, or going to a lot of the networking events. Some of the big conferences and stuff they charge you for that, whether you just want to get a ticket, which I've seen people just go and get a ticket just so that they can kind of be in the same room with the airport decision makers, and kind of see other business owners that are trying to get these opportunities and network and things like that. Or you can be somebody like me. I dished out, oh God, I don't even want to think about the price. I want to say $6,000 for a booth at the AXN Airport Conference, the Airport Experience Conference. But it puts you right in the room with people who are literally making the decisions for the opportunities that you're going after. If you are somebody that's like, oh my God, that's way too much money, you might want to step back and decide maybe getting your business into an airport may not be for you. I knew that this is exactly what I wanted, and my business sells travel size hair care. So airports are the best place for us to be. And the airports are looking for concepts like that. They're always looking for new, innovative, fun, creative concepts. So I knew that airports is where I wanted to be. I want to be in colleges, I want to be in stadiums, things like that. But I feel like my concept would do best didn't have enough storage. So we're back. Anyway, so like I was saying before, there is a lot of opportunity in the airport. If you're somebody who's asking yourself, like, is this something that I want to do? Do I have enough time for this? I am juggling, growing my small business in other ways, meaning we just hired a branding consultant that is going after a lot of the colleges and universities for us. I have an intern that is like putting lists together for new venues. We just had a venue in Louisiana New Orleans, that is reaching out to us as well. So that's another opportunity. So we have opportunities coming in a bunch of different ways. And I constantly have people reaching out to us on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and just in person as well. So back to what I was saying, airports are the biggest opportunity. And for people who, have never really thought about how much goes on in an airport outside of you being a passenger and trying to get through security into your flight or to your gate. Me as a business owner, I look at the airport in a completely different way now. I'm no longer a consumer or a customer of the airport. I'm looking to be a partner with them. So I look at airports in a completely different way. And there's a lot of moving parts. There's a ton of businesses, a ton of employees, and airports run like small cities. They have a lot going on. They have a lot of money going on, a lot of transactions. If you've ever been in a busy airport, you get what I'm saying. In terms of revenue, if I just ran my vending machines on the street, depending on if you were doing snack vending machines or beauty vending machines, or no matter what you're selling, you're making anywhere between a couple $100s a month up to, in some busy places, I know a lady who sells her cupcakes in a vending machine in a skating rink, and she's making 5 to 10 grand a month. So there's usually a cap in terms of how much you can make, because okay, so if you want to run your business in the airport, like I was saying, the potential, if you're making 5,000, 10,000, maybe 15,000 dollars in a great venue, if you're in a not so good venue and you're only making a couple $1,000 or a couple $100 as a vending machine owner, in different venues, getting in an airport, like I said in the beginning of the conversation, can be a game changer. And yes, it takes a long time. Sometimes it takes a lot of money to get through the whole process, in terms of, it takes some more so just time and effort to carve out, to get the certifications, to go to these events, to network with people, to put yourself in the right rooms, and to honestly do the bids, because doing the bid process, getting the certifications, all of that is free. It just takes a lot of your time and effort. But it can mean an opportunity that can make you $30,000, $40,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month. So it just depends. It depends on your business. It depends on a lot of different things. So that's kind of what I wanted to break down for you guys today. If you see me glancing, I'm just making sure that it's still recording, because I've been battling with my battery on my phone, as well as the storage. So that's kind of what I wanted to break down. I will try to insert some photos and stuff of different events that I've gone to, and kind of what the process has been. If you guys want a part 2 of this, comment below. If you have more questions that you want me to answer in another video, comment below. You can always follow us as well. I have videos on Instagram. We're on every platform. We're on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, obviously, TikTok, Facebook. So if you have more questions, definitely put them down in the comments, and I will try to answer them either in the comments or with another video if there's enough questions. And it's just been a long process. If you, and also please subscribe to our channel as well. I am still new to YouTube. So if it seems like I'm fumbling over my words, I just want to make sure I give you guys all of the information. There's a lot of things that also go into getting an actual contract as well. And that's kind of the process that I'm going into right now. So, but that's a lot of information. There's rent that needs to be paid. There's insurances. They charge you when you bring your products through security, whether you have a restaurant or a kiosk or a newspaper stand or a vending machine, whatever it is, they have fees for everything. So it's a very long process. I can do a different video on that as well. I didn't want this one to be too long. But like I said, subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content like this. My name is Maxine, again, with Tress Talks. My business is Tress Obsessed. I hope you guys will follow us and subscribe, and I look forward to your questions for the next video. Thanks.